It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we got a beer from Morrisons supermarket, this new, and it's from Polly's Brew Co. Quite excited by this. I've had some really decent beers from Polly's Brew Co. in the supermarket. Here's a look at the can. Polly's Golden State California IPA at 5.9% ABV. Brewed with Chinook, citrus and Simcoe. £440ml can. It cost me between £3 and £3.50. Let's get the beer out into a glass and see what we get. So I remember a couple of years ago now, Polly's launched two beers into Morrisons. One was like a mosaic beer, which was terrific. And then there was another one. They were both, what I'm trying to say is they were both fantastic, good quality beers. Well, look at this. There's no etching in the bottom of the glass. I think we'll let this just settle down for a moment and we'll talk about, well, let's give you the initial. I don't think I was too aggressive on the pour. We got a 3-finger white head. The carbonation looks like it's going to break down quite quickly. There's some large bubbles in that carbonation, in that head. The carbonation is quite large as well in the glass too. Quite a lot of it. So if you roll this down now, you can really concentrate that head. There you go. So if you rock the beer back and forth, you can see that carbonation chasing that head up the glass. There's a look at the beer. But yeah, let's quickly go back then to these two beers. So these two beers launched, and before they launched into Morrisons supermarket, these two beers, Polly's were one of those breweries where everybody wanted to try. You know, some of these breweries, they come along, they just have magic dust. I call them magic dust breweries because I've known many breweries. I've brewed beer with breweries. Like, let's look at Top Out Brewery in Edinburgh in Scotland. They don't exist anymore. I brewed a beer with them. A terrific beer, and it just didn't go anywhere. Just you know, I put it on YouTube, I blasted it out there. I was expecting people to buy it and pick it up, and you know, the brewery of course they wanted to benefit from all of that. Didn't do anything. Yet there's other breweries that'll set up shop in mould in a farm outbuilding that produce beer, and they just have that magic dust. They just have that kind of, the beer just sells and people talk about it and it gets great ratings on Untapped, and then the momentum builds, and before you know it, you turned into a Verdant Brewing Company in Cornwall, which are now quite a large affair. You know, but fair play to them, absolutely fair play. They've done fantastically well, as have Polly's. So when a beer like that launches into the supermarket, poof, you know, number one, it's got to be really good. And number two, everybody's excited by it. Everybody wants to try it. So they have to produce more of it. Right, let's get the aroma on this beer then. Ah, smells good. Calling it a California IPA, I'm starting to think, ooh, maybe it's the new name for West Coast. California IPA. Smells good. Smells really kind of grapefruity and orange peel like. Little bit of passion fruit and mango in there. Let's get in. Cheers, everybody. Oh. Oh, that's interesting. That's really interesting. That's oh. Let's go again. I want to start off with the drinkability of the beer. It's super refreshing. It's super drinkable. It's got great bitterness on the back end. Stone the Crows. It's California IPA. I've just reviewed Sierra Nevada's California IPA, and that had like a rip-roaring bitterness on the back end. This beer from Polly's. This is the first beer from Polly's Brew Co. Pardon me, I've had that has got that rip-roaring bitterness to it. It's really good. And look at that, they've got some of that haze in there. So let's talk about, one thing I forgot to mention when I was talking about the kind of the growth of these breweries. The fact is, they were producing soft, the Polly's out there previously, the Polly's, Verdant, Cloudwater, they were producing soft New England IPA that was next to no bitterness on the back end. It was all about creamy, rich mouthfeel. And I think this is what this, so this is the first bitter beer that I've had from Polly's, where they've actually put some hops in the boil kettle. But I think what they've tried to do, and I think this is what California IPA is it's hazy, like a New England IPA. A lot of haze there. A lot of softness in the mouthfeel. But then, by calling it a California IPA, they put some hops in the boil kettle, and they've got some real good bitterness there. This is fantastic. Stone the Crows. So we are right at the back end of 2024. What I'm going to say is, long may this continue. Long may this beer style continue. I will be looking frantically for California IPA going into 2025. I'll be looking for that stuff everywhere. Great drinkability, nice bitterness on the back end, nice balance. There's a balance. That mouth feels really good, but there's a little bit of sweetness there from the malt. There's enough bitterness on the back end. It's probably about 60 IBUs, international bittering units. £3, £3.50 a can. Yeah, happy as Larry with that. Happy as Larry. Happy. I've got no problem at all spending that money on a quality beer like this. Look at the lacing. Look at the quality. Look how good that beer looks. Looks good. Smells good. Tastes fantastic. I like that enough to give it a Stone the Crows 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.